name is Silvia Foster-Frau, and I'm the multiculturalism reporter for the Washington Post. So if I wasn't a journalist, there were probably a couple things I might be doing, and I might still do one day. One, I've always wanted to open a bakery. It was my first job in high school, was working at a bakery at the cash register and then also in the back. And I just really loved the sense of community of the local bakery. And I also have a huge sweet tooth and I'm a coffee addict, so it all kind of comes together nicely. And I also enjoy creative writing and have considered now and then pursuing that track, though I've found I can incorporate that into my journalism as well sometimes. So maybe pursuing a creative writing track as well. I would say one of the big personal experiences I had that shaped my career was the gap year that I took between high school and college. Through the Rotary program, I got a scholarship and spent 1 year in Mexico. And it did so many things. It opened my eyes to another culture, and it also opened my eyes to how the United States is perceived by other cultures. And I got to kind of look at the country from an outsider's lens and an outsider's perspective that really informed my work, and also ignited a passion for immigration and border issues. I was living in northern Mexico, so right there along the borderland regions, and it sparked my passion for those issues. And I think I've always valued the fact that I wasn't afraid of taking my time, growing up slowly, and allowing myself to delay that 1 year before I went to college to have an experience like that. And I found that to be really valuable going forward in life. One of the things I wish I had known, but at the same time, I'm not sure how I could have without getting started in my career, was finding that balance between my work and everything outside of work. In journalism, it's not necessarily just a 9-to-5 job. If you have a beat, you're kind of need to be on standby around the clock for breaking news. And so finding that balance between work and home life was something that I had to really learn over time. And so I guess maybe just being better prepared to know that that was a challenge that lay ahead for me, and understanding that that was how journalism worked would probably have helped me. So I think there's quite a few skills or traits that are important for being successful in the journalism industry. First of all, I guess the first thing I think of is probably what's less thought of or less studied, which is the soft skills involved in the line of work. I found that people skills and working in a team are really vital to the work of journalism, both because you have to have relationships with sources and with other members of the community, but also within your workplace itself, collaborating with colleagues and knowing how to manage up or work with your bosses and other people in leadership is just so important to staying happy and to producing great work in journalism. So that's one. I would also say that obviously writing and being able to write simply, even when you're talking about a complex subject, is really important. So, you don't need flowery academic language or lawyerese to write in journalism. You really need to be able to write simply and be able to translate it from academics or from lawyers or, from folks that are in kind of niche industries into language that people can understand. So that kind of translation ability, I think, is super important. And I would also say having a mindset that's a healthy dose of skepticism over what you hear, and how you're filtering in the information that's coming your way is important. Keeping an outsider's perspective, both maintaining an understanding from the community, but also being able to step back and see things with fresh eyes is really helpful. And then just the nitty gritty kind of critical thinking and research skills of fact checking and, reading a lot of articles and really understanding and mastering the subject that you're working on. So all those things are great traits in journalism and will help you go far. For those who are looking to find purpose in their careers, I guess I would say to just follow your feelings. follow the things that make you most excited. I think purpose is kind of um, based on your passions. And I've found that by following the things that I'm excited about and that make me happy, what gives me energy, when I talk to someone that has a really interesting story or tells me something that I find fascinating, I feel this sense of energy. Or when I'm covering a story that I think is so important, and that like thrill, whenever you feel that, try to hold on to it and try to figure out what was it that gave you that thrill, and what kind of line of work could lead you to where you're feeling that way. And I've also think that a sense of purpose also has to do with something larger than yourself. So it's those feelings, but it's also the sense that you're doing something for something that's bigger than just you. So finding the way that you feel like you're giving back the most or contributing in the best way that you can to society is also a great driver. And so I think if you just kind of pursue those things, you'll end up finding a sense of purpose in what you do.